silence with work ethic. I'm a boss, making decisions my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry True Podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. What do we got today, man? Do y'all see this title? Ksoo's Father Testifies. We knew he was about to testify, but to actually see it, to see him get on the stand, to see what he's going to say, to see him implicate his son like that. We're going to check the footage out. I also want to get to the opening statements from both the defense and the prosecution. Some very, very interesting things from the defense. Doesn't mean that Ksoo's not cooked, right? But they're going to play some interesting angles. Prosecution went crazy, though. It looked like Ksoo wanted to get up out that seat when the prosecution was going. We're going to check that footage out as well. What else do we got this morning on this lovely Tuesday? We got follow-ups to one of the Morris twins news from yesterday or the day before when we covered that. We got a little bit more information that we're going to bring up, see if that's really why he's still sitting in, I believe, a Broward County jail right now as we speak. I got some true crime that's going to be a trigger warning. Okay, we got some trigger warning, true crime for y'all. When we get this, it's going to make a bunch of people's skin crawl. I'm warning y'all right now. What else do we got? Oh, we got to do this Deandre Ayton. Welcome to the Lakers, by the way. We got to do this Deandre Ayton topic of how he flew a girl out allegedly to Turks and Caicos and left her ass, right? You know we're going to expand that topic. You know we got to go a little bit further than just, oh, somebody got left in Turks. You know what we about to do with that. And then a couple other topics. Shout out to Checks and Balances. I'm catching up on the Checks and Balances chat right now. Shout out to Kat. I think you're going to end up being the true crime person in the chat. I can tell already. But shout out to the whole chat that's on their way in. Shout out to the green team and the members. Let's start working. Okay. Ksoo's father takes the stand. Let's play the footage.
You know that they needed a ride on January 15th, 2020.
My son called me and asked me to go give Scotty a ride.
Which son?
Kareem.
Abdul Jr.?
Yes.
Do you recall what Abdul Jr.'s phone number was that he communicated with you on that day?
I think it's 904 624 3694 84.
3684?
Yeah.
Do you recall what your phone number was back on January 15th, 2020?
904 866 2370.
Now,
I ain't gonna lie, man. The prosecution, I don't even think of this is why they're the lawyers and we're just here watching the content and trying to interpret what the hell is going on. I wouldn't even think to make him testify to both phone numbers. That's crazy, son. You're trying to tie him into the phone records, the calls, the timing, everything with his testimony. Damn, yo, he is cooking the shit out of his son.
sitting here today, you realize that you are testifying against not only co-defendants, but family members.
Yes.
Damn!
Why are you doing that?
I have a number of reasons.
What are they?
I got some health issues. I got 2 6-year-olds and an 8-year-old daughter. And, when my 8-year-old daughter asked me when I'm going to come take her to the daddy-daughter dance.
Objection, hearsay relevance.
Overruled.
Good.
When she asked me over each year when I'm going to come take her there, and I keep letting her down.
I never heard that
Then
part.
my 6-year-old son, when he asked me if I'm going to come to his football games, come take him fishing. My other 6-year-old, he asked me, when I'm going to come see him, when he begging me, please come see me, daddy. He want to teach me how to play the game, but he don't know where I'm at. Things like that. My health issues.
What health issues do you have?
I have diabetic. I'm diabetic. I'm high blood pressure. I suffer from congestive heart failure. I just found out June 25th that my kidneys is failing rapidly.
Has becoming a witness in this case negatively impacted your relationship with your entire family?
Well, I really don't have no more relationship with my family besides one person.
So a part of your family completely cut you out?
Yeah.
When people know that you're cooperating, does that make it easier or harder for you when you're incarcerated?
Well, it make it harder for me.
What about when you get out?
Extremely harder.
Is cooperating in this case something that is easy for you to do?
No, this is the most hardest decision I've had to make in my life.
The day that Charles McCormick was murdered on January 15, 2020, does that specific day hold any significance for you and your family?
Yes.
And why is that date significant in your mind?
It's the date that my son got killed.
People, do you know the relevance of that video right there? How badly they just torched the defense? I didn't watch that last piece. I didn't watch the whole video. I'm watching it here with y'all live. Defense's initial statements that we and we're gonna bring up the video to watch it, but we read and we saw some of the defense putting up the angle of you know, and they do it all the time. If you're testifying, it's simply because you have something to gain, right? You're only testifying because you're trying to get out of jail. So that doesn't make you credible. They play that shit all the fucking time. Common angle. He just torched the defense. The prosecution just alley-oops him perfectly. Number one, will you have an easy time once you leave? No, I'm going to have problems. I'm cut off from my family. I don't really talk to nobody anymore. His health issues, and then the other two little ones, the 8-year-old and the 6-year-old. Now, that makes the jury, everybody in that courtroom look and say, he's making a decision based on the good versus the bad. Now, here we go, chat. Telling is telling, snitching is snitching. You can't rat if you involve yourself in the shit. You can't. You can't. Like, and mind you, reports are, stories are, feedback is all over the internet that this is a street guy as well, the father. I don't know if he's some retired civilian trying to just be an old grandfather at this point. Looks like he's either in his 50s or his 60s. Let's say that, right? Let's go with old retired street nigga, just living in his 50s or 60s, trying to raise his grandchildren, trying to be around, taking care of his health issues, right? It's two things there. It's like, one, do you expect the demon son to get you out of jail? As Pops that was just minding his business one day, got the phone call, came and picked your ass up while you was in the midst of running from a fucking murder, a crime, and I tried to hold it down, like, and then I got arrested. And do you take the position of, should Ksoo do everything in his power to just get his father off? But in doing so, of course, then Ksoo has no defense. He's just got to own up and take it. He just got to own up and take it. Like, my father ain't got nothing to do with this. Get him out of here. We got other brothers and sisters, other grandchildren. His health is fucked up. This is on me. I'm running around Jacksonville, tearing shit the fuck up, doing all these songs and all these shootings, and I'm acting the way I'm acting. My father retired. He's sitting home with his feet up with liver issues or whatever. I got to get him out. Should that be what's happening? Oh, when he mentions the other two, like the daddy-daughter dance and everything, I know that strikes a nerve with certain parents in the chat. Oh, the defense just got crushed. But that makes you look at things a little bit differently when it comes to Ksoo. I think there's some more testimony from him. Another clip that we're going to check out. This one is saying that he starts to semi get a little emotional. Yeah, to have to sit there and bury your son, right? Metaphorically speaking. Damn.
Who is the person that was captured on the video recording shooting Charles McCormick?
My son.
Damn, there it is.
What's your son's name?
Hakeem.
There it is.
After the murder of Charles McCormick, did you become aware of a post on Hakeem Robinson's Instagram account referencing something that happened?
Yes.
And was that posted from a nail salon?
Yes.
And after seeing that post, did you reach out to Hakeem Robinson, your son?
Yes.
And what did you want him to do?
I want him to remove the post.
Are you aware of any other posts Hakeem Robinson made to his social media around that time that concerns you?
Yes.
What was that?
It was another post of dude look up.
What did you see?
It was just the emojis on the bottom of it that said bye bye bye.
Say it again.
It was the emojis, the hand emojis saying bye bye.
This.
Who is the person that was captured on the video recording?
Trashing the defense once again. Boy, two things there. The first one of the openings where you see that they're using that social media post as kill a nigga and go get my toes done as evidence. That social media post. They're using it as evidence. And a lot of people would love to defend saying he could have just been talking some rapper shit. It could have been random. Or why does it have to do with this particular killing of McCormick? Like, it's just me in a nail salon getting my feet done. And I said a stupid ass outlandish caption. But they're presenting that as evidence. They're saying that, no, this was intentional. This was about this particular shooting. And here goes further testimony compounding that from the father saying, I wanted him to take it down because I knew what that was about. Oh, my God. Yo, Ksoo and his Cody is done. They're done. They're fucking done, B. His father up there saying that he had an issue with it and all the self-incrimination and all the self-snitching. Once again, you just got to let the world know how much you're involved in. All right, let's look at some opening statements. Wow. Let's go to the prosecutors first. Now, the video that I got up here, you see that this is an hour and 15 minutes long. I promise you, we're probably going to watch maybe like the first 10 to 15 minutes, and even that will be reduced because I'm going to speed it up a little bit. But I want to get a feel for how much pressure they're putting on Ksoo and they're presenting to the jury as far as all the angles that are to come. And then we're going to do the same for the defense.
We are all gathered here today because of a murderous plot that unfolded on January 15th, 2020. A wicked, premeditated murder, a vile scheme that was birthed by a specific group of co-defendants. Individuals who collectively, consciously, and callously worked together to ensure January 15th, 2020 was the day 23-year-old Charles McCormick died. The murder of Charles McCormick was personal. It was thought out. And it was brazenly executed in broad daylight without any fear of accountability. Why? Why did this group of co-defendants think they could exert such violence with impunity? The answer to that question comes down specifically to who was involved. Because this was not just any group of co-defendants. This was not a group of strangers. This was a group of individuals who knew one another, were close to one another, that were family. Every single one of them that participated in this crime were members of ATK, a local rap group. Although one of them were related by blood. This was a crime committed by family. The names of the guilty.
Notice he didn't call it a local gang. He called it a local rap group. Don't even have to do the whole angle in some of these cases of it's a rap group disguised as a criminal empire, like what they're trying to build a case allegedly against Lil Baby's 4 Pockets Full, right? They went straight to rap group and just trying to imply like rap groups get busy too, like it is what it is. Interesting.
Hakeem Robinson, sitting right here.
Damn, point at me like that.
Is Kimi to his family. Ksoo, his rap name. Leroy Whitaker, a co-defendant sitting before him, a cousin, whose nickname is Scotty. Dominique Barner, whose nickname is Butta, their friend, their co-defendant. The only one not related to the others by blood. But he might as well have been, because for years, they have known Barner. For years, they have accepted him. For years, he is one of them. Abdul Robinson Jr., nicknamed Kareem, K Crazy, Hakeem Robinson's biological brother. Hakeem Robinson's mother and Leroy Whitaker's father are siblings. Abdul Robinson Jr., Hakeem's biological brother, Leroy Whitaker's cousin, and Torrigan Williams, another cousin, also played a role in this crime. After the murder of Charles McCormick was completed by Dominique Barner, Hakeem Robinson, and Leroy Whitaker, and they had to flee what they three had just accomplished, their premeditated murder of Charles McCormick, Abdul Robinson Sr., nicknamed Blue, also got involved. That is Hakeem Robinson's father.
See how they threw that word premeditated in there, right? Everybody knows that that's worse than spur of the moment.
And he had to come to the rescue of Hakeem Robinson's cousin, Leroy Whitaker, and their friend and their co-defendant, Dominique Barner. Because
prosecution just used the word rescue. Senior came to the rescue. Yeah, they're trying to paint him knowing that he's working with them. They're trying to paint them off as much as possible. Hey, let's see if we can get you like 5 to 10 years for being an accessory, and use the word rescue. You know, if they was really on his heels and he wasn't cooperating, they would never use the word come rescue the rest of the fucking shooters. That's crazy. Just a little, yo, these attorneys is good as shit. I'm picking up on the little small details, man.
Dominique Barner and Leroy Whitaker, after fleeing with Hakeem Robinson from the murder, trying to escape the police, crashing their car. Dominique Barner and Leroy Whitaker went one way, Hakeem Robinson went another. And Dominique Barner and Leroy Whitaker found themselves trapped in a house that Dominique Barner and Leroy Whitaker broke into to escape the police that were looking for all three of them, trying to avoid getting caught. Avoiding accountability.
They're trying to avoid getting caught. That's just another charge. What is that? The evasion of police and all that. Every sentence he says is like constituting one of the charges that these motherfuckers got. It's crazy.
For the murder they just committed in broad daylight. And because Dominique Barner and Leroy Whitaker were trapped, Abdul Robinson Sr. had to come pick them up. He picked them up and drove Dominique Barner and Leroy Whitaker away from that home, away from the police. And it was during that ride that he found out exactly what happened. But he continued to help them and drove them away. And for his actions, he's been charged with accessory after the fact. Throughout history, one common truth has been shared by every person who has drawn breath in this world. There is a day you are born and a day you die. And between those two moments, the life that unfolds, uniquely shaped by one's choices and one's actions. Some of those choices are more profound than others, some actions more impactful. But when a group of individuals, even a family, when they come together and intentionally commit a violent crime, a murder, shattering the laws we all share, there must be accountability. And it is precisely for that very reason that in this courtroom, today, 5 years later, Hakeem Robinson and Leroy Whitaker are sitting before you.
5 years.
And at this moment in the trial, with them, though unseen, are two simple but essential questions. Questions that the state will answer for you with the evidence. And those two questions, which you can write down, where were they? And what did they do on January 15th, 2020? Simple questions. Where were they and what did they do? But those simple questions for Hakeem Robinson and Leroy Whitaker have terrifying answers. Answers that they are desperate to keep hidden from each and every one of you. The truth can be a funny thing. Sometimes, the more out of desperation you try to suppress it, the more the guilty fight and rail against each and every aspect of it, the more obvious it becomes.
Ain't that true, Verb?
For example, and I want you to hear these despicable words. Let them sink in. Because these are the words of Hakeem Robinson.
He's gonna say it.
Kill a nigga, then go get my toes done.
You can say it in court, huh? You can get away with it.
Kill a nigga, then go get my toes done.
Nice.
Those are his words. And he attached to a video he took of himself as he sat in a chair in a nail salon getting a pedicure. Just a couple days after running Charles McCormick down on foot and executing him.
Ooh.
You're going to see that video. You're going to read his words.
Attorney just dropped the ball right there, right? Kill a nigga, go get my toes done. Days after chasing him down on foot. Yo, he's up there rapping? Who is this guy? This guy's pretty good, man. The fuck?
You're going to see his tired feet. And when you look at that video, when you see him, when you see his words telling you what he did, believe me. And let that image, his answer to both of you, all of you, about what he did, sear your collective memories. On January 15th of 2020, these two co-defendants, they shared a motive, they shared a goal, and for their deeds, they will forever share guilt. What was their undoing? What has brought them here before all of you today?
Self-snitching.
Simply, the combination of arrogance, mistakes, and bad luck.
Arrogance and self-snitching.
For justice's sake, thankfully, the murder of Charles McCormick was captured on video. Thankfully, these two co-defendants in particular left a trail of overwhelming and inescapable evidence in their violent, chaotic wake. Evidence that is much like an avalanche, quickly gaining momentum until that evidence ultimately and unavoidably catches up and buries all doubt in this case. So what kind of evidence are you going to hear? Are you going to see? Evidence in virtually every form imaginable. You're going to see evidence, you're going to hear evidence directly related to the motive in this case, because it was a personal motive, and we'll talk about that in a moment. You're going to see the video of the murder, and that video is a powerful piece of evidence, because not only does it capture the murder, it also captures the vehicle that was used by Dominic Barner, Hakeem Robinson, and Leroy Whitaker when they committed this crime, a stolen Nissan Altima. And you will see that vehicle on video. And there will be no doubt that that vehicle was occupied by the people who committed this crime. And that vehicle was collected, well, evidence inside it was collected immediately after this crime, immediately after they fled from committing the murder from the police. When that car crashed, and inside it, amongst the items that were collected, DNA evidence. DNA evidence for Leroy Whitaker and Hakeem Robinson. Fingerprint evidence for Hakeem Robinson. DNA fingerprints forever tethering them to that car, to their crimes. You will also see on that video of the murder exactly what the shooter was wearing, And I want you to pay particular attention to it because this is a video, not a still photograph. You'll get to see the whole thing. And you will see that the shooter was wearing a two-tone hoodie, gray chest, dark black arms, black hoodie pulled up over his head. And I want you to take note of that because you will see that same hoodie in photographs and videos wrapped around Hakeem Robinson's guilty body. You will see the distinct firearm that he carried when he committed that murder, when he pulled the trigger. And you will see that same firearm in another video in Hakeem Robinson's hands. Not for entertainment. He used it for murder on January 15, 2020. You also will be presented with call records showing communication amongst these co-defendants and cell site location information, placing Leroy Whitaker, placing Hakeem Robinson where they should not have been, placing them where the guilty. You will see social media posts, in addition to the nail salon video that we've already talked about, another video posted to Hakeem Robinson's Instagram account just a couple days after the murder, a video of Charles McCormick rapping a song. But when you get to Charles McCormick in the video and you see his face, what's added? Hand emojis with the text, bye-bye. And then that's followed up by the nail salon video that we've discussed, where he needed to get his toes done. What I want you to remember, because there is going to be so much evidence in this case against both defendants, there's so many different types of evidence that it's much like a puzzle. While they're powerful on their own, independently, when you put them together, and they come together so easily, so intuitively, when you put these pieces together, you will be presented with the truth of January 15, 2020. And that will be a picture showing each and every one of you who committed this crime. And what will be staring back at you will be the crystal clear pictures of Hakeem Robinson and Leroy Whitaker, just as clear as if you were to turn your gaze over there at this very moment. One of the key pieces of evidence that exists, as I have said, is the video recording of this murder. That video recording exists because Victor Kruger, a citizen, has nothing to do with this, just happened to have a dash cam in his truck and just happened to be parked at the right place at the right time. That video is completely independent, wholly unbiased, and incapable of lying. It just captured what happened in high definition for each and every one of you to see. And so when you watch that video, I want you to trust your eyes. Because again, it's not a single photo. It is a video that shows in detail, as Hakeem Robinson, who was the shooter in this case, tracked Charles McCormick down on foot and executed him. Now, that video essentially it's going to be a time machine, transporting each and every one of you individually and collectively back 5 years. That's how long ago this was. 5 years. Placing you in the position Victor Kruger found himself when he witnessed Charles McCormick's final terror-filled seconds on this earth. But you will get to watch that video from the safety of this courtroom. And I want to be very clear. This is a crime that happened 5 years ago, so when you watch that video, you're going to see the shooter looked like 5 years ago. Not today. It doesn't matter. It was 5 years ago. This video.
So we know the video. That's what they're doing, the tracking that we covered the other day, like the infrared video to shape his body as it moved through the it was incredible. Like they on his heels. In the background, I was looking for the original post. Well, not the original post. I'm sure it's down right now, but somebody that screenshotted it, maybe posted it on Reddit or something. To kill a nigga and go get my toes done. I think it was like his feet in like the spa tub or something like that. Getting like a pedicure or something. I couldn't find it real quick. Spent like 30 seconds. I know it's out there somewhere, but all right, chat. Let's move to the defense's opening statement. And even though nobody here in this chat believes that Ksoo ain't cooked 1,000 times over, let's see if at least the defense is going to have some angles that they're going to play. Let's see if they could make an eyebrow raise or two for the jury. All right, let's take a look.
On January 15th of 2020, Charles McCormick was shot in a strip mall by a lone gunman. There will be no question about that. You will watch the videotape. There will also be no question whatsoever. Leroy Whitaker did not pull that trigger. Leroy Whitaker had nothing to do with the death of Charles McCormick. That's what the evidence will show. You're going to watch a video of Charles McCormick being chased down and shot. The shooter, the lone gunman in that video is not Leroy Whitaker. So how are we here? Why are we here? In this room, everything changes. See, before we come into this room, the state of Florida has the absolute power, the choice, the prerogative to charge or not charge whoever they want. But once we come in here to our Hall of Justice, they must prove their allegations. They must prove their allegations with actual credible evidence. And I urge you to write right now in the notebooks that were provided to you, a little topic I suggest to you. Evidence of Leroy Whitaker's participation in this murder. And ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be one thing and only one thing at the very end of all the testimony, everything that you're going to be presented. It's going to be one name only, Dominique Barner. That's it. That is it. The state star witness of which their house of cards in their allegations against Mr. Whitaker will collapse. Dominique Barner, an admitted two-time killer, paid for, self-proclaimed, paid for assassin. Dominique Barner will waltz into this courtroom and he will try to fill the blatant holes in the state's case. Their star witness will explain to you, well, you know, on January 15th, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office hauls me in. See, I don't just have tattoos on my arms. I have 1993 strapped right on my arm. Pretty distinctive. And Barbara Buckley did describe that in detail. And so the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office was able to put together a photo spread within hours of Barbara Buckley's home being invaded by Dominique Barner. And lo and behold, she was, in no uncertain terms, you're going to meet her. She's going to tell you all. Dominique Barner sure scared me. Dominique Barner came into my home. Dominique Barner choked me out. Dominique Barner got me to the point where I just kind of finally faked passing out and sat on my couch and then ultimately smoked a cigarette. Dominique Barner was caught. And to hear the state of Florida talk about Dominique Barner, one might think, one might assume Dominique Barner must have walked in on January 15th and said, oh, I need to tell all my sins. Oh, I need to confess. That's not what the evidence is going to show.
How easy is it going to be, though, to try to act like it was a sole person, just Dominique on his own, minus Ksoo, when they got the footage of them both with the clothes in question that also is what this witness would describe, two people through the backyard, hopping the gates and all that. So you're going to say, all right, when they first crashed the car, two people went this way, one person went this way. Okay, now the two people that went this way together and they got footage of them hopping gates and going through the backyards, they also split, and then it only became Dominique Barner in the crib, in which case, then what are you trying to get off the table? The charges of that home invasion? No problem. But you already have footage of at least two people together evading after the shooting, after the car crash. So you're painting this as if it's always this whole time only been one person, but there's already, I don't get it. What am I missing there?
What you're going to learn is that Dominique Barner came in on January 15th and he told just enough about himself to get him off his case. So let him go. He's still in jail. He's not charged with murder yet. But then you're going to hear, as the murders pile up, see, there's this pesky second murder that you'll hear Dominique Barner was part of, has admitted to premeditating, has admitted to pleading to that charge of a whole separate case where a truly innocent bystander gets killed. Because unfortunately, Dominic Barner misses who he was really gunning for. Interestingly enough, you will ultimately hear Abdul Robinson Sr. also part of that murder, also pled to that separate murder. But as those charges started piling up, Dominic Barner realized, I need to do what I do. I'll cooperate. See, by the time that Leroy Whitaker and Dominic Barner started spending any time together, Dominic Barner had already gotten his first cooperation against somebody completely different out of the way. Because that's what he does. Abdul Robinson Sr., same thing. Abdul Robinson Sr. has been cooperating since before Leroy Whitaker was born. That's what the evidence will show. But Dominic Barner will be the one and only piece of evidence the state will even attempt to convince you that Leroy Whitaker had any part in the death of Charles McCormick. The evidence will not be there.
Wait, Dominic is the father, right? Dominic is the father. So this is all discrediting the father and saying that it's just a 1 + 1, the driver, the father, and then the one other person. But then you still have the person running through the backyard on footage and all that, same clothes at it. So now are you really trying to say that the witness is going to get up there, the person that lived in the crib, that they ran into her shit before they got picked up, that person's going to testify to only one person being in her crib? I want to see that.
You're going to hear from Barbara Buckley, and I'll tell you up front, I think you'll like her. She's feisty. No one pulls anything over her eyes. And she's going to walk in and she's going to honestly talk to you about that morning, how it was just a normal morning, how she sees two people in her house, and she says in very colorful language, get the hell out of my house.
You just said see two people in the house. What am I missing, shorty? Like, did you not just contradict yourself a little bit in your opening statement? Am I missing something?
Dominic Barner didn't accept that and then was violent with her. And because of that, she was able to,
Dominic isn't the father.
no uncertain terms, with confidence, with 1993 emblazoned on his arm, she picks him out.
Okay.
Dominic Barner did that.
Okay.
The second person, the other person in her home, she can't identify. What will the state try to rely on? Dominic Barner. Dominic Barner and Abdul Robinson Sr. have learned the system. They've learned what to say and how to say it. I urge you, listen carefully as they describe their cooperation agreements. For the two murders that Dominic Barner will tell you in no uncertain terms that he thought about, that he wanted to happen, he put into action, and did commit the murder for two human beings being gone. What does he look forward to? Well, he has every hope and expectation of walking amongst us again in 20 short years. No.
Okay, I get it. She clearly is like, yo, they've been working the system forever. They know how to rat. They know what to say to the government. They're just here to save their asses. We get it. They're telling. But your whole opening to me is like making the third person a ghost, the Ksoo a ghost. I don't know how the fuck you're gonna do that. You pulling some magician Houdini shit there, but all right. Chat, what y'all think based on the opening statements? Well, obviously in trial, so I'm not gonna say trial. I'm just gonna say guilty, not guilty. Based on the opening statements, what do y'all got? I just don't see it. I don't see the defense's angles there. I get it. The whole thing about, they're just saying this stuff and testifying against Ksoo because they're here to save their own ass. But you have clear evidence of multiple people there. And then all the social media self-snitching, the motive is there. The body camera scanning for Ksoo, like all this stuff is there. I don't get it. The DNA they got in the car, like I don't get it. What the fuck am I missing? But yeah, Jay, man, I agree, man. Like I didn't get. I think she's loud and vibrant, and she's he's obviously got a paid for lawyer. You know what I'm saying? She's up there putting on her performance. I'm not mad at Shorty. I think she's actually doing a decent job for him. I just don't see it anywhere close to what the prosecution is bringing. I think there's a big gap between them already. I think the jury is sitting in there right now like, guilty. Go ahead and finish this trial so we get the fuck up out of here. Like, and I see y'all in the chat. He's cooked, guilty, and all that. I see y'all. Okay. All right, we'll leave it there for now. We'll keep an eye on more footage that comes out. Isn't it different when we don't got to read the whole fucking thing? We get to see the lawyers in action and hear them. So yeah, footage. All right, staying with crime and folks that are currently in jail. So we spoke about this the other day. One of the Morris twins. I believe that the story was broken from TMZ Sports, and it said something about check fraud. And me personally, I went to the whole thing of checks. Who's even still writing checks? This guy's out here working. He's still on TV, still associated with the NBA. Is it just a bounce check, an accident? Something else mentioned a casino, and I was just like, this got to be a mistake, right? Like, I don't know. I get it. You can get in a lot of trouble for fraudulent checks, fake checks, all these blue collar, white collar type of crimes post 9/11, especially. I get it, but he's still sitting in there, right? No bonds. So it's like, they're treating it like a very serious fraud case, right? Well, not saying that this TikTok video that we're about to play is 1000% accurate, but these are more details that are starting to make its way around social media.
NBA star Marcus Morris just got arrested, and the reason is insane. After 13 seasons in the league, millions in the bank, and a reputation as one of the toughest forwards in the NBA, he's now sitting in a Florida jail cell. The charge? Felony fraud. Authorities say he wrote a massive six-figure check to purchase a luxury Rolls-Royce in Miami, and it bounced. But when investigators started digging, they uncovered an entire trail of bad checks linked to private car deals, high-stakes poker debts in Vegas, and even a failed yacht rental in the Bahamas. Sources close to the case say this wasn't a simple mistake. Marcus allegedly knew the account was empty. And the wildest part, the arrest warrant wasn't even from Florida. It came from another state, connected to an older investigation that was quietly building for months. This is the same guy who just last year was negotiating a TV analyst deal with ESPN after leaving the league. From NBA glory to facing serious prison time, all over fraud that might be way deeper than anyone imagined. Marcus Morris, former NBA star, twin brother of Markieff, now at the center of one of the most shocking scandals in recent basketball history.
Yeah, I don't know about the soundtrack that they play in the background, right? You tried it. They was going in. It was over dramatizing that. But it sounds serious from that description. And I do want to take something back that I said the other day. I was like, who writes checks? Nobody's writing checks. Everything's digital. Everything's on your phone. Zelle this or blah, blah, blah. Wire transfer that. Wire transfer is one thing, especially from like business accounts. You can go big. You know, like I've had to do a lot of big payouts via bank wire transactions in RBE. You know, like how much you think I got to send for a back end of like a Murder Mook, a Cassidy, a Hitman Holla. Like these are big back ends. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do take it back as far as checks still being relevant. The last time I purchased a car, and shockingly, they did accept a check, but one thing that they did during the process was the salesperson, they make you log into your bank account and show you the funds. They did that with me. You know what I'm saying? They like log into your bank account, show us the funds that are available, and then we'll take the check. And I was like, all right, no problem. Log in, boom, boom, write the check. So especially car dealerships are absolutely taking actually, the last 2 times I purchased a car, they were with personal checks. Right now, I don't be bouncing no. I rarely write checks, but when I do, I make sure that all the fucking money is there. And I don't expect to end up in jail, even if I do have a bounce check. I expect it to be an accident. Let's rectify it, and then let's keep it moving. That's supposed to be simple. So if I have a bounce check, Morris, right, I'm not going to go to jail and then be declined bail, right? Yes, let's wake up. There definitely has to be something bigger at play here. And they're saying that this is a pattern, or he's been doing this, or he's getting over. They mentioned a Rolls Royce. They mentioned it linking into some other situation that was already under investigation. So I don't know. I don't want to try to pull up what his ESPN deal was going to be or was when he was on TV, you know, but you leave the NBA lifestyle, and God knows where you know what? Let's see if we can find it real quick. Do we know how much the Morris twins make on ESPN? Let's see. Let's see. I don't expect it to come up, but let's see if any numbers come out. Throughout his 13-year NBA career, Marcus earned over $106.8 million in player salary through 2024. That's a lot of money. He signed a 4-year, $64 million contract with Los Angeles Clippers in 2024, averaging around $16 million per year. Now, remember, all these numbers, you damn near cut them in half for taxes. Okay. ESPN analyst salary, though. Forbes and salary tracking sources estimate top senior analysts at ESPN earning $6 million to $20 million annually. Yeah, but you give an example of like Stephen A. Smith. He's a titan with what he makes. Nobody's making that. Troy Aikman, no. That's not the Morris twins. Pat McAfee, no. Joe Buck, no. 15 million, no. Typical sports analyst salaried at ESPN average between 70,000 to 100,000 per year. That makes a little bit more. I'm not saying that they're paying Morris that, but I don't expect to hear 5, 10, 15 million for the stature of somebody like either the Morris twins coming on as a reoccurring host. I don't see that. And they don't have their own show, right? They're kind of like guests for already established shows, more frequent guests. But if you salary them, NBA salary, Marcus Morris, all right, I don't care about the NBA. All right, so I guess the only reason I was interested in that was just to kind of get a feel of if you're in a certain lifestyle, if you're making $100 million salary, minus taxes and minus your expenses and minus your lavish lifestyle and all your big purchases and all that. Yeah, money could come and it can go real, real fast. And the moment you exit the league, there's a lot of players we've seen stories of, and they even petition for some type of retirement setup for players and financial offices and helping, because it's like, yo, the moment that NBA salary runs out, a lot of people are in some figure it out shit. Like, oh shit, my career is over in my late 20s or in my 30s. And I plan on living another 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And I'm not playing basketball anymore. Like, not everybody ends up with a fucking sports analyst job with the NBA. Not everybody ends up getting some other big deal or made superstar money while they were playing or has ongoing endorsements like Michael Jordan and LeBron James and Steph and all. No. What about the other 95% of the players, right? So you just never know if like, I got to keep that lifestyle up. And then you start seeing people get into other shit. You start seeing people get into fraud and wire transactions and this and that. And I'm not saying that's the case with Morris here, but there's got to be something to it. If the initial reports was just a bounce check. No, you don't end up in jail with no bail for an accidental bounce check. There's something bigger at play here. So, all right. I told y'all when the stream cut on, for those that were here at 6 a.m., when we get to our true crime segment, and when I say true crime, I know a lot of this is still true crime, the Ksoo trial, obviously, the Morris shit. But I guess when I say true crime, I'm also including people that we don't know. I'm not talking about like celebrity news and shit, okay? I'm just talking about just random big shit that's happening in the world. And it's just like, wow. Trigger warning. Trigger warning from a humane standpoint. Also from a paternal standpoint. Also from an eerie nature standpoint. Okay? I don't know what else I could say. Now, there's nothing graphic that's going to come on screen. You guys know me. I'm careful with that type of stuff on screen. I know that YouTube would be like, wait a minute, somebody just got shot point blank range in the head and you played that? No, I ain't doing that. Right? But it still feels like a scene out of a horror movie a little bit. So that's for the sensitive folks. You have been warned. All right, let's go. This is, do I have this in the title? Yes, I do. Mom gets 50 years. Why did this mother get 50 years? What did she do? Oh, man. All right. Let me bring this up on a bigger screen for y'all. What do we got here? Cops discover bodies in woman's trunk during traffic stop.
I take all my stuff out. Where am I going to?
I just need this right here is drawing my attention to it, so I'm gonna have to. I need to see it.
I know.
Just feel it.
That's why I'm trying to show you.
No.
I'm with you.
What happened?
No, I'm just telling him, giving him some advice.
Okay. I'm telling you, you're just gonna find a bunch of dirty blankets.
Yeah, but I need to know what that smell is.
I am. I'm about to show you.
Nicole turns to the officer for help, and he carefully begins cutting through the thick layers with a knife.
You gotta get all the way through to the dirty pissy clothes.
Why you got all these blankets?
Huh?
Why you got all these blankets?
Because we stay in hotels, from the hotel to the car. Like, I can even get the hotel.
No. You can finish it. I was just curious.
Oh, yeah, I can even get to the hotel receipt for you.
Okay. You ain't got to go through that. I was just curious.
Keep finding blankets.
I ain't got one blanket. Keep finding.
Oh, you can keep finding them.
Why?
You see them right there as soon as you open the seat.
Why?
Huh?
Keep finding. Why?
Oh, yeah, because as soon as you open it, you gonna find them.
Let's stand on the front of this car, make sure she don't go nowhere.
After cutting through multiple layers of trash bags, officers finally uncover a black suitcase.
Just open the suitcase and we can be good after that.
There's more blankets still. You cut it right here.
Can you cut it one more time?
And this is what it smells like.
What is that?
Huh?
What is that?
Dirty thing?
No. Pull it out. Pull.
Dirty thing from my husband.
Pull the whole bag out.
I am. My husband be saying the dirty blankets from my husband. I am. See?
Take it out.
Take the bag out.
Take that bag out of there.
I am.
Okay.
Pretty close. All pretty close.
Open it up, ma'am.
I did.
Unroll the whole thing.
Open that up. Open that up. What the? Get the in! Put your hands up! Don't you?
If I take all my stuff.
Yeah, I'll see this here. A Baltimore woman has been sentenced to 50 years in prison after the bodies of her young niece and nephew were found in the trunk of a car during a 2021 traffic stop. So I guess this is now going viral because she was just found guilty and hit with the 50. Nicole Johnson admitted to caring for the children, but never returned them to their mother. So she's not even the parent. Imagine getting this type of news. God forbid. Authorities say 7-year-old Jocelyn Johnson and 5-year-old Larry O'Neill died months apart under disturbing circumstances, with their remains left in the trunk for an extended period. 50 years. So rest in peace to the children, and huge condolences to these parents of these kids. It's tough to leave the kids' faces up there like that. This is a right. I warned y'all. It's making my skin crawl right now. I warned y'all. You got to give a big salute and shout out to the police officers for their curiosity, for their also persistence. Often we get at these police officers almost as if they're supposed to just mind their business, right? like I'm pulling you over. I smell something. Nigga, you don't smell shit. Get out my business. Leave me alone. There's real crimes being broken in the world. I pay your taxes, or I pay your salary for my taxes, or you know what I'm saying? But there are police out in the world. It's their job to use their senses. It's their job to be curious. It's their job to catch something that you are trying to hide. You ever see some of these drug busts? They're creative as shit. You know, they got the drugs in the soles of their sneakers, in their braids of their hair. The way that they carve up some of these trucks and some of these cars and stash drugs to transport is incredible. It's police officers' jobs to be curious. And a lot of us have had these encounters with police where we're just like, yo, get the fuck on, leave me alone. But if you are not breaking the law, if you are not doing anything wrong, if you don't have anything dirty in your car, and if you give off a certain type of energy, you should be just going about your merry fucking way. Okay, if you pull me over and I look nervous and I'm stuttering and maybe there's a smell from the back of the car and you say, please get up out the car, and you got tons of blankets in your trunk and it smells horrible, and you're thinking, oh, you don't have a warrant, or like, why you got me going through my shit? We're glad the police officers did all of this, because look what happened, man. This shit damn near made me feel like that's the scene from Seven, like at the end, right? It's just, that was freaky the way that the cops had to react at the end, but they were onto something. They were onto something, and because they were onto something, they got one of these devils where they belong. And some would say this woman belongs in a whole different place, right? Not just in jail. But they got her off the street because point being, if she can be responsible for those two kids initially losing their lives, and they're even related to her, said her niece and her nephew, and then go about this, the packaging of them and in the trunk for months and all of that, that's the devil at work. That's the devil right there. So shout out to these police officers, man, and condolences. Yeah, that wasn't an easy one, y'all. I warned y'all. That wasn't an easy one. I need y'all to let me know too in the chat. Are y'all able to get through some of these type of things? Do y'all want to keep making sure that y'all included in the news of this type of stuff? Me, I follow it, and I feel like it's all related to what we already do. We do paperwork, we do celebrity crime, celebrity court, right? Once we start getting into the weeds of just general true crime, there's a lot of crazy stuff that's happening out there. And some of these, like if this woman was on trial, I wouldn't mind going through the trial with y'all. The same way we did the Diddy trial, right? If we could sit up here and talk about him getting somebody else's nut rubbed on his fucking nipples, right? Now we get to laugh and joke about that type of shit, right? It's just like, damn, Diddy. And it's a celebrity. But this stuff right here, like I said before, there's jewels, there's learning, there's being worldly involved at play here. And if y'all are fit for it, you know, because I could get through it, some of it. Some of them I might have to walk off camera. I ain't gonna lie, here and there. It be the ones with the kids. It fucks me up bad. So I might have to work off camera certain times, but if y'all could get through it, I could get through it. Okay. And I'm looking at the chat and I see between rounds, our member says more. I see Nikita said, right, these people are demons. We checks and balances. Checks and balances, all this shit, yeah. Sassy member says, I followed anyway, and yes, interesting topic. Okay, I got y'all. All right, let's keep it moving. A little bit more in the true crime arena. We had a mass shooting recently. Is this New York? What do we got? NYC mass shooting, 4 people, 1 New York police officer, and a gunman killed. Shooter identified as Las Vegas resident Shane Tamura. This was posted 6 hours ago. Chaos broke out during Monday evening rush hour in the heart of New York City after a gunman identified as 27-year-old Shane Tamura opened fire inside a 44-story building in Midtown Manhattan, killing 5 people, including an NYPD officer, before turning the gun on himself. Oh, so he's out of here. Okay, he's done. We're not talking about no trial. We're not talking about none of that. Okay. According to the New York Post, Tamura stormed into the skyscraper, which houses the NFL headquarters in Blackstone, carrying an assault rifle around 6:30 p.m. Surveillance footage captured him walking into the building armed. By the time it was over, 6 more people were injured. Terrified employees had barricaded themselves behind office furniture, and the shooter was found dead on the 33rd floor from self-inflicted gunshot wounds. You know, when you have stuff like this, or actually, hold on, there's more. Hold on.
We're getting multiple calls from 345 Park Avenue.
Tonight, police swarming this skyscraper in Midtown Manhattan after at least 2 people were shot, 1 police officer and 1 civilian, according to 2 senior law enforcement officers. 4 senior New York City officials say the suspected gunman, Shane Devin Tamura of Las Vegas, is dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound on the 33rd floor of the building. Earlier, the NYPD circulated this photo of a person with a long gun they say they were searching for in connection with the shooting, according to 3 senior law enforcement sources. The building,
Fuck is the point of the dark shades, dude, especially if you're going to kill yourself.
Park Avenue, is just down that way. I was just speaking to one man who did not want to appear on camera. He told me that his wife is inside the building. She's on the 23rd floor. She says she's okay, but he's waiting for her to get out.
When the notification came over from the police commissioner that we had a number of shots fired, and we're still unraveling what took place. And our hearts are heavy. 5 innocent people shot tonight. We lost 4 souls to another senseless act of gun violence.
Now, what I was about to say is, this is New York. This is Midtown Manhattan. That's a big fucking deal. Like, and it matters everywhere. Don't take that the wrong way. It matters everywhere. But Midtown Manhattan, one of the biggest financial institution-based cities, and it's like one of those pillars of the globe, Manhattan, Midtown Manhattan. And this is the type of stuff that you got to also pay attention to the aftermath from a reaction from the government, the mayors, etc. Remember, after 9/11, there was talks of, should the pilots have guns, right? Should they have guns locked up there in the cabin? Now the cabins in the front where the pilots are, they stay locked the entire flight. Ain't no door unlocked and people could walk in and out. Like even the service attendants, no, they're fully locked now, right? Things change. Certain knives you can carry, you can't carry. Gun laws change. Stop and frisk laws change. All this stuff starts to change. I'll tell you one thing I wouldn't mind changing, right? the continued look into protective measures that you could have in these buildings. Like if you work at a high profile building, you know, like even like CNN, well, they got constant threats, right? They have, if you ever go to the CNN building, they have a ton of security. The C-SPANs of the world, all these things that are involved in media, that are involved in politics, hell, abortion clinics. Like these are places that get targeted heavily, you know, and they said this was the headquarters for the NFL or something like that. All these type of high profile places that have high profile people, you may want to think about ways to further allow them not just to secure the place, but to defend themselves. I'm not saying give all of them guns and let them walk around. When they walk through the door, they can put a gun on their hip, and then when they're leaving the building, they got to give it back, turn it in. I'm not saying that, but I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like if I'm in that building and it's a high profile place, the CNN building, and I work there every fucking day, I would love to have a gun with me. Coming and going. I just would. Now imagine if you're like the CEO there and your name be in the news articles and shit, and you affect the stock market and whatnot. People, you lose millions. That dude that got caught up in that big shit earlier this year, right? The medical based CEO, right? You never know. Somebody, God knows where, in Las Vegas loses $1 million in their stock because you flipped the switch in your company. You didn't break any laws. You're just doing a regular day at your job. And they come across company, they walk into your fucking building with an assault rifle. You know what I'm saying? It's damn. These high profile places, man, it's crazy. Why do you think the Pentagon isn't a skyscraper? Because it would be too targeted, right? People even design buildings like this. So when you have shootings like this where somebody could just walk up into a high profile building, I'm telling you, there's going to be conversations that's going to happen. In skyscrapers, they talked about people with parachutes after 9/11. Should we start putting parachutes in the building? Right? It's crazy. It's fucking insane. It's fucking insane, B. But fuck him. He took his own life after killing a bunch of innocent people, right? Fuck him. What do you want me to say? Condolences to the families and the people that were that lost their lives as well. See Mayor Adams up there addressing stuff. Is he still going through his shit? And we'll save that for another day. All right, let's get to one of the topics that's in the title. Normally, I would have probably moved this a little bit earlier, maybe before the true crime. I don't know. This just happens to be today's order, people. Sorry if you felt like you were hanging around for this one and we we took a minute to get to it. Over an hour. Yeah. All right. What does my title say? My title says, and women mislead rich men on vacations. That's my title. All right, let's look at the actual news here from Deandre Ayton, who recently just signed to the Lakers, who were in big need of a center, especially after going through last year, right? They found their center in Deandre Ayton. Welcome to the LA Lakers. They might make some heavy noise this year. We'll see if LeBron stays, yada, 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 yada. But he finds himself in the news headlines. NBA Laker Deandre Ayton accused of leaving woman stranded in Turks after she refused to sleep with him. I've been to Turks. Turks is a beautiful fucking place. Here's the thing about my Turks experience as well. It's expensive. I don't know how many all-inclusive resorts is in Turks, but I went there for a birthday, and I remember all the resorts that we looked at, they were none of them were all-inclusive. And everything on the resort, the food, the drinks, everything is expensive. It is a beautiful trip. It is a beautiful place to go. But do your homework on what you're going to spend first so that you're budgeted properly, because Turks is no fucking joke. But anyway, so this Instagram model looks like she found her way to Turks and Caicos with Deandre Ayton. Now, I got to assume you guys don't know each other that well. You guys must not know each other that well. If he left you stranded there, what is this? This is posted from a woman as well. I feel like y'all do this to yourselves at this point. I don't know what you thought you were being flown out for, because I can guarantee it wasn't to discuss the pick and roll. We're not out here for basketball, are we? Thirdly, why are you traveling without money? Have y'all not learned by now? Of course he wants some cat. So the whole traveling without money thing, that's not even an Instagram model or getting the flute out there. That's just being an adult. We teach children how to start carrying wallets and have money on them. What if you need to make a phone call? What if you need to buy something real quick? What if you need to get yourself an Uber or a cab to find your way home? You know, have something on you, right? But here's what I did. I pulled up allegedly the girl's Instagram to see if there was a mistake. And we already know the fucking answer. The moment we saw the picture with Deandre Ayton, just from the first news that started to hit, we had the answer. Right? We knew who and what she is, right? We knew that. But I still said, let me go to her Instagram, all right? Because there could be one of those Dave Chappelle elements. Remember his classic joke where he said, oh, just because I'm dressed like a hoe doesn't mean I am a hoe, right? Maybe that she was just a cool girl and he loved her conversation and he flew her out. And she really went for conversation and just to get away for a moment. And she realized, like, oh my goodness, he wants to have sexual relations with me. I can't do that. That's not why I'm here. No fucking way. So I said, let me go to our pictures. Let me go to our page. Now, Caribbean Curls, allegedly, this is her, 956,000 followers. The profile here says entrepreneur. Okay, almost 1 million followers. I'm no hater, but when you see somebody with hundreds of thousands of followers, millions of followers, you would think that they are, I don't know, notable for something. I don't know. Like, if you come to my page and I have 5,000 followers, which is still a lot on Instagram, right? Considering how many people are on Instagram that aren't known. Say I have 5,000 followers, and then you see my profile and it says owner of rder Entertainment, or it says Sorry It's True podcast. Okay, that's why he has 5,000 people that follow him. Okay, and you scroll down my Instagram, you might see me at some events, you might see me doing some business, you might see a clip of me working on my podcast and say, okay, I get it. When I scroll her real quick, just up, down, real quick. Okay, 1 million followers. Murder Move Voice. What do you do? Do you have something for sale? Do you have a company? I can't see that because you're not promoting a company. If you have 1 million followers, normally you would promote whatever your company is, your job is, or whatever you got for sale, if that's how you got your million followers, right? It just says entrepreneur. Entrepreneur of what? And then an email contact@CaribbeanCurls.com. I bet you if I send the email there and say, hey, shorty, I'm looking to link up, I would get a reply. I can't email and say, hey, how much are the shoes? Because you're not selling shit. Oh, I'm wrong. Maybe you are indeed selling something. I wonder what that would be. The first picture that's here, this is from 3 weeks ago. She captions it, flying private to the islands, standing in front of a private jet. You got your Christian Dior on display. You got the stairs down on the flight. You're in a picture by yourself. Dope. The first comment underneath says, so these pictures with designer and lavish living is a facade? ? You don't have no money? ? That's the first comment under her shit. And then look at this one. Somebody posts a picture of Deandre Ayton fucking giving y'all the quitty on the court. I would be so offended if I was promoting myself of having this lavish lifestyle, and the first thing y'all all thought is that I could only do these things or go these places if some celebrity or some rich guy with money took me there to trick me off. I would be offended because I work hard. I'd be offended if the first thing somebody says is ARP's Guyanese father. I'm offended because I hit my alarm clock from a teenager all the way up until today. My alarm clock went off today at 4:15 a.m. I'm offended. Shido, what do you do? So, by the way, your BBL is disgusting. It gets to a point where it's just too much and it just looks way too fake. That's my own personal thing. That's another story. But allegedly, we see what is for sale, right? We see what's for sale, allegedly. And you being what many men drool over is going to get you a lot of these trips. But I clearly see what's for sale. I see what's for sale. I see what the entrepreneur, not much left to the imagination hit. And this is what I mean about some of y'all work in surgery. It gets to a point where it looks too fake. It just looks too fake. But you're leaving nothing for the imagination. You can't have a husband like this. Well, then again, some niggas is freaks like a Kanye wouldn't mind this. Kanye, I think he self-admittedly says he wants to have everybody want to fuck his woman when his woman walks into the room. The Kanyes of the world would like this type of presentation, but you can't be married. You can't have a steady man like if this is your presentation on your IG, but you don't want to settle down right now because the trips and the gifts and everything is what you're getting from being on sale. We see what's for sale, right? Oh, wait, hold on. Here goes some promotion at least. Okay. That's the entrepreneur side. 40% off, become bigger and better. So whatever this Vigro Labs is, all right, you added them. You're getting them some promo here with using your ass. Good job. Okay, so clear IG model, getting flued out all over the place. And now let's talk about you allegedly getting left in Turks and Caicos when you went fuck. You, with your disgusting ass BBL and everything that you're selling to niggas up here, which is nothing but ass. That's all you're fucking selling. You can't convince me that you didn't think that Deandre Ayton didn't bring you with him to Turks for some pussy. Because honestly, I don't see anything else. How about some of y'all put up a video of y'all talking? Let me hear what y'all sound like when y'all talk. Let me hear how much intellect y'all have. What do you do for anything? But if all you got to show is ass, if that's all I want to see when we get to Turks, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. You show me pussy, titties, and ass the whole fucking gram. This is how we all know you. All million of us, and I don't follow you, but you know what I mean by us, like right now. All million of us know you from pussy, titties, and ass. And then this man takes his money and flies you to a very expensive location, private. What were you going for? What were you going for? How about this? I'm gonna be cruel for a second. Fuck it. I'm gonna say this. Ladies, forgive me. Real moment. If that's your presentation, and if you don't know Deandre Ayton like very, very well, like we've been talking for a year, We've hung out before. If you don't know him that well, and I'm gonna assume that y'all don't know each other that well. I'm gonna assume that this is kind of a newly formed friendship. Okay. If you get left behind in Turks and Caicos for not giving that man some pussy, you deserve it. You want to know why? Because that's what you use to get you there. That's what you tried to put in his face to get you there, to get you on the trip. So the unsaid, I guess, deal was broken. We're not going to do the acting. We're not going to act like they went there to fucking play cards, or like the caption said, talk about a pick and roll. If the man, now the worst of the worst, right? You might end up with a nigga that you led on. You had spent all this money on you. You presented yourself like this. You let him fly you out. You shouldn't even be flying out the country. You shouldn't be going down the block with somebody you don't know like that. But you are willing to go out the country with somebody that is willing to leave you. That means that y'all ain't tight like that. Y'all ain't tight like that. So y'all have a either known or unsaid negotiation of why we're even going to Turks. I bet you every outfit that you bought what you look like your Instagram look like this. I bet you every outfit that you brought what you look just like that. I bet you he took some of those pictures for you on the boats and shit out in Turks on the beach. Here, hold my phone. Get this for me. And he's like, yeah, it's up. Y'all get back to the hotel room. Here's the thing. In a worst case, shout out to Deandre Ayton. You want to know why? Because in a shitty situation, a shitty man would force himself on her. Yeah, let's be real. Let's be real. A shitty man would have all this presentation, all this shit thrown in his face, all this. We know why we here. We barely know each other. You letting me fly you out the country. You're coming with me to another country. And you don't fuck, and I'm spending all, and I'm doing all this. Some niggas trunk or wallet or that's in their character, and they will take it by force. You know what Deandre Ayton did? He said, "Oh, the deal has been broken. Well, I'll see you later. I'm out of here." I think he took the best course of action. I think he did the right fucking thing. And if you didn't even have money, you should never, as an adult, be stranded somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You got your passport. That's all you need. That's all you're supposed to need, right? Your passport and your wallet is supposed to be able to get you back from wherever you went as a fucking adult. Every time I leave the country or leave a state or leave you know what? I check my pocket. Damn, I don't want to leave behind the shit that I bought while I was shopping out here. I don't want to leave my jewelry behind. I don't want to leave my clothes behind. Check the drawers. Make sure I packed all the clothes that I didn't wear. Check the closet. Do I still have any clothes hanging up? Oh, I brought an extra pair of sneakers. Make sure that those are in the suitcase. Nobody gives a fuck about none of that. You know what? I refuse to fucking go through customs before I make sure I have, right? Do I have my phone, my wallet, and my passport? Because with those three things, I could conquer the world. I could wake up right now and I could be dropped off somewhere in Russia, like the movie Hunt. Like, what the fuck? Where am I? If I got my phone and I don't even need my phone, could be third on the list. If I got my wallet and my passport, and I don't even know if I need my passport, because there's things you could deal with at the airport. If your passport was lost on your trip, you're gonna have a headache and a half. But you're not just going to be like, you can go through a certain process if you've lost your passport while at the airport. It's a headache, right? But your wallet starts to give you identification. You got your credit cards. You got your debit cards. I don't give a fuck about how much cash you got. Your insurance card in case you get hurt, something. Like, my wallet is that's number one. If I got my wallet, I can make my way back from Russia. It might take me a second, but I'm going to get back because I got my wallet. How the fuck are you stranded at a beautiful paradise in Turks? How the fuck is you stranded? Because you don't belong there. Yeah, he said it. You don't belong. If you flying your ass to fucking anywhere, I don't give a fuck if it's to Florida. Anywhere. If you don't belong there, you don't belong there. If you're not responsible, if you don't got the money to feed yourself, then you need to figure out something else. All right. Your trip is go to the mall. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with, I'm not shitting on people that don't got it or can't move around. It's about staying within your fucking means of a responsible adult. Don't try to fucking swipe my card for $1 million car if I know that my balance or my limit is 15 grand. It's the same fucking concept. So I really don't belong in fucking Turks. The only thing that put me here is this fucking BBL. That's the only reason I'm in Turks. This Instagram profile. It's the only reason I'm in Turks, because I can't come here on my own. That's just got literally proven. I can't get home on my own. So that means I can't get there on my own. The word stranded for an adult that fucking plans a trip out the country ain't supposed to exist. It's not supposed to exist. You're not supposed to be able to say, well, you stay here, I'm going back to America. What? How? No, I'm coming too. You know what I just realized, bitch nigga? I thought I was here to talk about a pick and roll scheme when you start playing with the Lakers, right? I really was here for that. You wanted some pussy. I was never on that. Sorry if you got the wrong idea from my Instagram. I apologize for misleading you, but fine. You want to leave me stranded? That's cool. I'll be on the flight behind you. The fuck? So the credit card is for. So the debit card is for. Or else don't take your ass over there. You don't belong there. It's out of your means. Stranded? No. You broke the agreement, bitch. That's the truth. Fuck out of here. We got to start letting the hoes be hoes, man. Thank you. Thank you. Come up through the chat real quick. She only had to get busy with one person. Now she got to get busy with many people. Oh, shit. Not even the person that brought her out there, right? She might go sell some pussy to a random nigga in Turks now to try to get a flight back. Stranded. And even, how about this? Even before I'm stranded, because the person that brought you there ditches you, you don't got nobody you could call on back home. You miss balling out standing in front of the private jets with the Dior bags. Right? What you gonna have to sell the bag while you out there? You can't make hey, wire me some bread, cash at me some bread for this flight real quick. This bitch ass nigga just left me. You nothing going on. The word stranded? You can't strand me. I just realized that. I said, shit, give me my wallet, give me my phone, and give me my passport, and I could go anywhere in the world. I can make it anywhere. I can make it home from anywhere. Then I said, damn, I don't know if I need my cell phone. I don't know if I need my cell phone. I could still make calls. I could use people's phones or whatever, right? So, damn, do I really need my passport? No, because I could figure that out at the airport too. My wallet, if you say one thing, I could make it to anywhere or from anywhere in the world. Just give me my wallet. Just give me an ID, my credit card, my debit card, right? And then if I don't have that, I don't know how tough it's going to be if I don't have some form of ID on me, right? But if I don't even have my credit card or my debit card, let me find a phone. Let me get in touch with one of my people. Yo, I got a situation. I don't know what happened. I woke up in Russia. I'm here at the airport. I've made my way to the airport, or I'm going to make my way to the airport. I think the car is probably going to cost me $200. The flight is probably going to cost me $1,000 and pick me up at the airport. You don't got nobody to call. You stand in front of these private jets and shit with your Dior bag. Like, your whole Instagram says lavish life, lavish lifestyle, but you stranded. You fake stunting ass bitches, man. Y'all crazy. Thank you. I'm glad nobody in the chat is looking at my little rant like ARP is tripping. Thank you. You try to say if you're in Russia, Putin putting you on the front line in the war. I'll find my way out of that too. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? No backup plan? Right? I got like 4 backup plans just in my wallet. Debit card 1, credit card 1, credit card 2, credit card 3. There's 4 backup plans just in this little wallet that I carry. And then my phone gives me 50 more backup plans. Yo, woke up in Russia. There's a couple of my niggas, I ain't gonna lie. If I hit them, they might leave me for an hour or two, like, stupid. Just like that bitch. Teach him a lesson. Call me tomorrow, AR. I know you're gonna be all right. I know you cool. I know you know how to move around. Word, I got you. I'm gonna send you the 1,500 for your car and for your flight, but call me tomorrow. I'll give it to you tomorrow. Somebody do that to me just to teach me the lesson. How the fuck you wake up in Russia, you stupid nigga? How the fuck you get stranded in Turks and Caicos? Shut up. So now we got a whole nother backup plan. Some niggas be like, nigga, I can survive as long as I got a pair of dice with me. What? Niggas is getting out of that. She's trash. She's trash. Y'all can hide these Instagram models, man. She's trash. She is trash. She is trash. All right. This one I grabbed out of Checks and Balances this morning. Yeah, this won't end the stream on a bad note. It won't. I don't think y'all will feel crazy. But I was just like, damn, they still doing this, huh? This actually still exists. Absolutely. ARP, wake the fuck up. Why would you think it doesn't exist? Look at this shit.
No Jews, no gays. High up in the Ozark Hills in the state of Arkansas, dozens of people have been working hard, building houses and a new type of community. It's called Return to the Land, and it is a town open to white people only. They are millennials and Gen Z, and this is a new update of age-old prejudice.
What we've done here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites-only place.
White American culture.
But what this sounds like is bringing back segregation. Is that a fair assessment?
It's free association. So we're not trying to keep other people down. This is a small settlement in the middle of the Ozarks.
But they are being kept out, even if...
you don't let everyone in.
No blacks, no Jews, no gays. High up in
your home.
Around 40 people live here. Hundreds more from across the world have paid to be members. And while the men do the physical labor, the women take care of the children who live here full time. It can be a very loving community if you're part of the community, but if you're black, if you're Jewish, or if you're gay, you can't be part of that community.
They can have their own communities, and they already do.
You might be wondering how any of this can be legal. Return to the Land is structured as a private members association, which they believe allows them to discriminate on the basis of ethnicity, along with other factors. That has yet to be tested in the courts and may well fail. The Arkansas Attorney General has said his office is now reviewing the matter as a result of our reporting, and that there is no room for racial discrimination in Arkansas or anywhere in a free society.
Your home.
Around 40.
And so the Arkansas political layers are stepping in, right? Because Arkansas, I guess there's certain ways you can get in trouble there, they're saying, right? They said this is in the Ozarks, right? Is that the same place as one of my favorite shows of all time? Damn, what y'all got going on up there in the Ozarks? There's one interesting thing that he said. They said, y'all have y'all own communities. Do we? Yes and no. Yes and no. Look at the movie The Bronx Tale, right? They showed it in both areas. They showed it in like the white neighborhood when the black bus drove through and niggas was throwing like the stickball bats and the rocks at the bus. And then they show what happened when the whites came to the black neighborhood. Let's be real, right? They show what happened. I think the difference though between this here and what we normally today classify as like black community, right, is in the black communities 99.9% of the time we don't own shit. This is coming off like the way that video looks as if they're building, building it out, the land and farming and, proclaiming ownership of this area. If you walk up into, let's say the Jets and it's 90+% black, right? Somebody snapped their finger and that shit is gentrified. Let's be honest. Let's be real now, right? You snap your finger. You say, I want this area to have more prestigious tax bracket people or a different demographic or a white demographic. You snap your fingers and that shit is all demolitioned. It's gentrified. It's increased land value and housing that are placed there, and certain demographics can come in and certain will be pushed out. Right? This video comes off like you can't do that. Ain't no snapping of the fingers. Like they farming there, they building it, they own it. So that is a big fucking difference. It bothers me, but there's an element to it that also makes me happy. The element that makes me happy is that I know the reality of this world. You just can't erase people like this. You just can't. It's if you think that the world is going to mysteriously get to a place in our lifetime, you're definitely not going to see it in our lifetime. I don't think about the next generations either, where we're going to wake up one day and it's going to be so unified. There's always going to be people that carry this in their heart or carry this type of teaching or learning in their brain, right? And the only way to have me not go through that story that I told y'all the other day at my security gate, right? Or to go through some bullshit at a certain restaurant, or somebody trying to call me a nigga or wanting to call me a nigga and can't say it to my face. The only way for me to avoid those type of situations in my life is if I'm just not around those motherfuckers. I got to accept that these people exist, right? I got to accept that they're not going nowhere. So if you're going to tell me these motherfuckers is tucked away in the mountains of the Ozarks and they got their own little, hey, fuck black people thing going on, along with this Jewish and gays, cool. I'm glad they're not walking around with a disguise around Midtown Manhattan and shit with me, or working in the desk next to me and smiling in my face and shaking my hand and whatnot. And then in the back of your mind, you wish me death and you want to call me a nigga so bad. Which one would you rather? You know what I'm saying? So if politics in Arkansas step in and say, look, man, y'all gonna live how y'all live. You know what I'm saying? But there's just certain parameters that you just can't put in place. So be it. But if I know that there's a particular area where the neo-Nazis live, the skinheads live, or this community is being built, I'd rather you be there with your mask off. So I think that that's better. You know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead and stay up there in the mountains and do y'all thing. Y'all fuck with that? Y'all fuck with that take? And this is what I mean about, now, do you come out of the mountains and then come police brown skinned people too? I don't know about that. But yeah, I want y'all to stay up there with y'all masks off and I know who you are. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. That means you're away from me. You're away from all of our children. I'm cool with that. All right. Shout out to checks and balances on that one too. There's so much in the checks and balances chat. I'm trying to keep up. There's so much news for us to cover, people. I'm trying to keep up. I'm trying. All right, everybody. Appreciate everybody for tuning in today. Fun morning. What are we about? Hour and a half in, 90 minutes in. Fun one today. Shout out to Deandre Ayton. Leave that bitch. Yeah. You know what? I'm leaving it like that. I ain't saying shit else. But yeah, shout out to Deandre Ayton. Leave that bitch.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry True Podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.
Without my thing, still got a gun.